tested. We bringing all the answers you requested. You guessed it, it's unrested. Teaching street jazz buddies, that's Unrested.
Hey guys, what's up? I thought I'd do this little JFAQ in front of one of my toy collections inside the house. I know everybody likes to see some of the toys I collect on my free time, and so I thought I'd just put that in the background. You can check them out while I'm talking. One other thing I wanted to show you real quick. The other day we lost a controller for our air conditioner. Pretty much how it works here in Japan is you have these pretty much room units that are up near the ceiling, and to turn them on you need something that's just kind of like a TV remote control, and for the most part they're about the same size as a TV remote control, but we lost the one to one of the brands we had called Aircon Remotecon, and well, she's now my wife had to pick it up at the store, and I wanted to show this to you. Look how big this controller is. Is this not ridiculous? I mean, this thing is massive. And I know you're probably wondering, Scott, well maybe, is that for people who are, losing their eyesight or blind or something? No, no, no. This is just a normal controller. Whoa, look at the size of those buttons. Like, how could you miss it? Incredible. Alright. Enough of that, though. Let's get into our question for today. I just had a viewer today write me a great question. And usually I would post their name and give them a shout out, but this is maybe a little bit too personal. She might not want this up there. So I'm just going to leave that anonymous, and later if she decides she wanted to shout out, I'll throw it in another video because it's a great question. She talked to me about how she wants to leave for Japan. She's starting to plan and create a life in a life plan for moving to Japan. And that's really what it is. It becomes like a life plan when you want to move here. And right now, though, she's in a relationship. It's a really serious relationship from what she told me. And her boyfriend's not really digging what she's choosing to do with her life. He's got his own plans too, and they don't concern leaving his hometown or his home country. Which, there's nothing wrong with that. Some people, that's just not their thing. But I've had this question come up before, and I've had this situation come up before myself and with other people I know who've come over to Japan. I was in a relationship right before I left for Japan. It hadn't been a really, really long relationship. It was maybe we had been going out for about 4 or 5 months, and the girl I was seeing at the time, she actually started to plan to come to Japan too. And then at the last second she backed out, and I had been planning it for so long I just couldn't back out. I had to do it. But she said, I'll come visit you and stuff like that. We'll keep in contact. So I got here, and the first week we talked on Skype and things like that. We kept in contact. But what made it really hard is there's a 14-hour time difference from America to Japan. So most times when I was sleeping, she was awake, and vice versa. So what this turned into was us having a little bit of problems setting up times to communicate, and she became more and more frustrated, understandably, with the situation. It wasn't easy for us to communicate. I wasn't close to her. I wasn't always able to comment or message her. And within the first week, she dumped me. And, she had her reasons, and she had good reasons. I don't blame her, and I was a bit hurt for a while, but the fact that I had just started a new life, I knew I had to be strong and I had to go on, and I had a lot more to worry about. I had just started a new job and a brand new life and a brand new apartment with all new friends. I needed to start worrying about this life here, not one that was now 12,000 miles away. Do I regret leaving and having that relationship end because I went to Japan? No. No. If coming to Japan is your goal, okay, if that's really your goal, if it's been your dream for a long time, then the person you're with should support you. And if they can't, then maybe it's just not the right relationship for you. Alright? somebody needs to make a sacrifice, okay? At some point, somebody needs to make a sacrifice. Either you sacrifice your dream of Japan, or they sacrifice, the relationship for you to come to Japan. Or they make the sacrifice of making a long-distance relationship. Now, I'm going to be dead honest with you. I would say probably about 80% of the time that people I know have come over here and tried to keep a long-distance relationship going, it's ended. It hasn't worked. And almost any gaijin who's over here right now is going to tell you the same thing. It just doesn't work. It's too far. It's too hard to communicate. There's too much of a time difference. And usually when you get here, you will find you are so damn busy, okay? However busy you were in your own country, I promise you, you're definitely going to be busier here. Unless you're working, already working maybe a 12-hour job in your own country, you're probably not going to be busier. I'm not saying you're going to end up working 12 hours in Japan. There's just a lot to do here. There's a lot to do, and I've never been busier than before I came to Japan. And, I worked a normal 8-hour job. I had my friends. I hung out. I did all the normal things any American would. And I still only work an 8-hour job here, but I guess I don't know if it's just travel time or just how many convenient things there are to do here or how many different things I'm interested in, but I am absolutely strapped for time. I have little to no time outside of making these videos, keeping up with my hobbies, going to work, having time for my wife and for my friends. And I mean, that's it, man. I am absolutely strapped for time. From the second I wake up to the second I go to bed, I have stuff to do. So you're going to be strapped for time, which won't leave you a lot for, paying attention to that person that's so far away and trying to match up that time difference. That time difference makes a huge, huge problem for both of you, okay? Trying to find those times that you can actually meet is difficult. I mean, even for me talking to my own parents, it's difficult for me to set up a good time. So, to say the least, a relationship is more than likely going to become very strained when you get here. So, I would say for the most part, don't have a lot of hope in them surviving. Okay? Now, like I said, you can sacrifice your own dream of coming to Japan for that person that you're with, but I need you to think about this. Later down the line, will that be a regret in your relationship? Will that be something you will hold against that person? If you say yes, or you think that might become a problem later down the line, then it's not worth it. It was destined to break up, okay? If Japan is really your dream, it's something you have to pursue with a lot of ambition. It doesn't come easily. There was a time where it was a lot easier to get here, where you could just come on over with a gravy train at Kiowa. But now it's harder and harder, and really it takes a lot of commitment. And it's something you really need to think about if it's going to get in the way of a relationship. And you also need to consider that long-term relationships don't usually last when you get over here. So definitely something you need to think about. Hope that helps. Hope that doesn't get anybody down. Hope that doesn't get anybody into a big fight with their girlfriend or boyfriend. But it is something you need to have to your attention, okay? And something you do need to think about if that's an issue. That's the JFAQ for today. Hope you enjoyed that. If you have any questions or want a little bit of advice on that, I'll try to help you as much as I can, but I'm not exactly a relationship expert, so don't always depend on me for that. Have a good one. I'll see you next time.